Does it start automatically on YouTube now? Oh, it sure does. Used to, you had to press go live on the YouTube's like studio website now, or you used to, and now you don't have to. Now you just press go live and it goes live. All right, now Twitch is up too. All right, sweet. Now we can get started. Let me get the music going. Hello? There we go. What's up, David? Wow. Woo! I'm running late today, chat. I'm running way behind schedule. I wanted to be like done by this time, done with stream, but we're just getting started. But that's okay. Better late than never, I always say. What's up, Castro? My name is Noah. You can call me Neat, though. What's up with you guys today? I'm wearing such a dark shirt that it doesn't... I'm surprised it's even able to pick up my sleeve as it moves in front of the stuff. Oh my god, it's Legion Lee! Long time no see indeed. Are you finally out of the military, my friend? Henrique from Brazil. Dude, Brazil is goated. Brazil is awesome. I love Brazil. Everybody I meet from Brazil is awesome for some reason or another. And they're big Sonic fans down in Brazil, I hear. Master System Sonic fans, in fact, because the Master System popped the fuck off in Brazil. Yo, same. But this is my job, so, you know, it's not so bad. Man, it's good to see you, brother. It's good to see some of the familiar faces. We are crazy about Sonic, yeah. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's so random. Like, the Japanese were like, how can we create a character that's engineered to appeal to Americans and Japanese kids at the same time? And they created the character that's the perfect Brazilian for some reason. Doing D&D, yo, I wish I was doing D&D still. Our D&D group fizzled out, as they all do, last year, but that's okay. Honestly, D&D for me is something that is too much of a time sink. I want to so bad, but the problem is I can't just spend like 3 or 4 hours a week on D&D. I have to either be cut off completely or I dive in for like 20 hours a week. Because I'll prepare for sessions literally all week and then have the session be like 6 hours long. Oh, I didn't know that actually. Listen, the Japanese, they know how to make cool stuff. That is one thing I can say about the Japanese. We got a very special thing going on today, chat. We are going to be playing Sonic 2. And as we go, we're going to rank each zone as we complete them. We're going to rank them in our tier list. If you'll remember from the tier list video, we have the Sonic 1 zones ranked already. I just did that in a video. I didn't do it in a stream. But right now we've got Labyrinth Zone in F tier, which I want to put it in E tier so bad. or at least or to D tier. Really, like I feel like I was too harsh on Labyrinth Zone, but the problem is that if there's gonna be any zone in F, it's gonna be Labyrinth. It's just gonna be. So like, I don't know. That works, I guess. Hold on, I'm change the music back over. What do we want to listen to, chat? Oh, actually, this is kind of a bop. We'll keep it on this. I look like I'm jacking dicks, but Scrap Brain could go in F tier. Bro, I put Scrap Brain in A tier. Scrap Brain's the second highest ranked. Here, we'll switch over for it real quick. I put Labyrinth in F, and then Scrap Brain I put in A, which is crazy. I did not think I would put Scrap Brain in A. A lot of people don't like Scrap Brain. Being objective, trying to be objective, Scrap Brain kind of slaps. It's got the best setting, or the best like execution of its setting of any level in Sonic 1. It's got some of the best music in Sonic 1. It's got like different art for Act 2 and Act 3. And it like tells a story throughout its zone. Like you start outside the factory, then you go inside, then you get dropped into the basement. It's really cool. It's a really cool final level. Yo, Magnus, what's good? That's all good, man. I appreciate you listening in. I'm still third in gifted subs. Yeah, Legion, bro. Nobody's topping you, except for D-Rock. DJ Skeletron came in like a hurricane one day when he had COVID money and just dropped like 100 subs in one day. So he took top spot, and then Castle's been watching nonstop for what is it, like 6 years now? So has hardly missed a stream. I say that and she's not here, but so yeah, you're still on top. Got another copy of Sonic Mania on Steam. These sales can't get enough. I think I own Mania on PlayStation 4 and Steam as well. I can't remember if I got it on PS4. I have not played a PlayStation in a long time. I say that. I play PlayStation 1 and 2 all the time. I haven't played an online PlayStation in a long time, I guess. But what I keep trying to say is, very exciting thing today. In my cool things about Sonic 1 video, a lot of people complained about how I was playing a version of Sonic 1 that was like not the original, right? They were like, oh, you're playing a modded version, like that doesn't count. I'm like, all these secrets are in all the versions of the game, bro. It really doesn't matter. But since people complained enough, because of that, I went the extra mile and I've got a whole ass setup. So we're gonna be playing today on original fucking hardware on my childhood copy of Sonic 2. For the Genesis. That's a real cartridge. On my actual copy of Sonic 2. So, now they can't complain. Like, oh, well, in the remake, they changed this song. Wait, it's not the PAL version. Yeah, it's going to be slightly faster. It's going to be 20% faster. OG hardware hype indeed. And I've got a whole scene set up. Wait till you guys see this. All right, you ready? I'm gonna wait for the music to kick in. Ayo? How about it? I had to, so this took some careful planning because I had initially set this up completely mirrored, completely flipped. I had the chat over on the right. I had myself over on the right, just like our usual display, right? I just moved myself up, right? But then I started my Sega up and I looked and I realized I was looking off to this side. So I was facing away from the game And so I was like, fuck, I've got to rearrange the entire scene. That's why we were late today. That's why we started at like 4:25 instead of 4:15. Is that I had to like remake this scene from scratch, like just quickly move everything over to the left. Mega Drive, yeah, Mega Drive. Genesis is a fucking sick name, but you know what? Mega Drive, also a sick name. So, can't complain about that. I also like Mega CD more than I like Sega CD. Me personally. Let's say we start this shindig up, chat. I feel like people have rolled in. I hate to cut this song short because it's probably my second favorite track from SRB2, but check it out. Heyo. We have original audio and everything. Now, I've got to make sure that the audio is coming through. I actually don't think it is. Hold on. Oh, is it considered line in? Hold on. It's coming through my GoXLR, but it's not coming through my GoXLR. Broadcast stream mix. Okay, hold on. I gotta figure out where the audio's at. Mixer. Oh yeah, it's the line in for sure. Yeah, there is a slight CRT filter. I'll show you guys what it looks like without the filters on it. This is just the wait, shit. Where is it? This is just the raw output right here. This is the raw output, but I was like, we needed it to be a little bit more brighter. A little bit brighter, a little bit more saturated. And then we put a CRT filter on it because I wanted it to match what I see on my TV, which it doesn't. My TV is significantly more vibrant than what you guys are seeing, but it's as close as I could get. But yes, I am also playing on a real Genesis, yeah. But I also add the CRT filter on the stream so that you guys see what I'm seeing, basically, and not just a crappy recording. Yeah, it's a real Genesis, for sure. The CRT filter is just on, it's just in my recording software. Yeah. Must be played on a Genesis 1 with a volume slider on the front. No, I'm a Genesis 2 guy. I grew up with the Genesis 2, not even knowing the Genesis 1 was a thing. So this is saying line in. And for some reason, line in is not coming in to my broadcast stream mix. So we're just going to straight up add it in OBS. So hold on for just a second, guys. Add source, audio, output capture, create new, we're going to call it line out, or line in rather. And then device. It's not on the list. Hold on. That's why, hold on. So it can't be an audio output, it has to be an audio input, sorry. Audio input capture. Call this line in. Chat mix. Where the fuck is line in? God damn it. Digital audio voice, broadcast stream mix, digital audio interface, stream mix. Microphone, sample, personal mix, microphone, chat mic. Headset, microphone, chat mix. What the fuck? Damn it. I cannot figure out why it's not coming through. Let's see if it'll come through if I put it in the microphone. Routing. line in through chat mic. Yeah, it's just straight up not working. What the fuck? Maybe if I close out of the GoXLR software and reopen it. This is so weird. Why is it not coming through? Yeah, the mic will be doubled in certain parts because of what I'm messing with. Wait, now it says line in. Hold on. Microphone, chat mix. It's a microphone. Why is this all... Okay. We'll get there, chat. We'll get there. Wouldn't be a neat stream without technical difficulties. Sample game, chat mic, speakers, Elgato virtual audio. System. Why is it not showing up? So if I go into like Windows sound devices, we've got chat, we've got speakers, we got chat mic, we got game, we got sample, we got speakers. We've got chat mix, chat mic, microphone, personal mix, sample, microphone, stream mix, broadcast stream mix. But why aren't we getting... Just play the Sonic Origins version. Imagine. Okay, hold on. Pay no attention to the fact that I have 87,000 tabs. Hold on. So let's do... Yo, Royal Bunny, thanks for dropping in, but things are not going swell. We've got some major audio issues in this stream for some reason. Not Sonic. GoXLR. Yo, thanks for the biddies, Royal Bunnies. That's 100 biddies right there. Got to show off the new alert. Thank you so much. The other day, I had my lighting app open, the one that changes the light whenever alerts go off. And somebody became a member of the Neat Club while I was like editing a video, and my whole room just lit up pink, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Somebody just came a member of the Neat Club. It was super cool. GoXLR line in not showing up. Yes. XLR. No. Why? It's okay. Line in not working. Okay, hold on. I had to unplug my 3.5mm jack cable from my XLR to my little Bose speaker to be able to get some sound while playing It Takes Two. After everything, I plugged into the line out port on the XLR, line in port on the computer. I've tried various USB ports, blah, 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 blah. But setting is a default playback channel. Yada, yada, yada. Plugged in the line out port on the line in on the PC. No. Check that your routing GoXLR to your broadcast mix. I did. I did that exactly. If I hit line in on broadcast stream mix, nothing happens. Except it kind of does. That's what's weird. Is I do see like the tiniest little blurb of a little thing. Watch this, guys. We do this. Oh, geez. Now watch here. Watch here. You can already see it. Okay, now it's not doing it, but you can see where the line's peaked. It's like every so often, there's like this tiniest little nubbin of audio right there. You guys saw it, right? I'm not crazy. I'm going a little crazy. And I have no idea what's causing that. I can hear it in my headphones just fine. That's what's crazy. That's what's driving me crazy. If I fucking crank this shit, hold on. All right, I probably blew out my speakers doing that, but... So I don't know what's the issue. I can even route it to the microphone, and it doesn't do it. Nothing, right? You guys don't hear anything when I talk, right? Even when my thing is open. Hi, how's it going? So broadcast audio not checked off. What do you mean checked off? Shit. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. No idea. This was happening the other day with my chat mic too. I don't know what is going on. Oh, I finally died from time over. Finally died from time over. I've officially been troubleshooting this for 10 minutes. God damn it. All right, is there... I apologize, chat. I'm out here looking at manuals and shit, chat. I don't know. I don't know how I'm listening to the music and not getting anything out of line out. Like, I can hear the game in my headphones, which means it's going to my headphones, which means the app is working somehow, at least on like the hardware level. And I can even turn this off. I can turn this on and off, and it stops sending it to my headphones. So like, there's something there. It's working. It's just not like... Okay, first of all, we're getting out of NVIDIA broadcast. Is there anything else that's like taking up devices from... That's weird. Game sample. Why can't we do line in? I used to do this all the time. I had a second microphone I've often had two microphones and put them into plugged it into the line in, and it worked perfectly. Elgato Wavelink, in fact. Is that on right now? Why is this on? Does this just come on? Oh, Jesus Christ. No thanks. Need to uninstall all this shit. Look at all this. I don't need this much. Oh, boy. Okay. Sample. Game. Chat mic. Speakers. Steam streaming microphone. What the fuck is Steam streaming microphone? Yo, Uncle Skittle, what's good? Thanks for finding the channel. Welcome in. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. What are you up to today? Okay, I will be right back, chat. I'm going to restart OBS and see if that fixes it, because it worked for the chat mic the other day. So I'll be right back. It didn't work. It did not work, chat. Turns out that was not the problem. Urgh! What if I put it in the sampler, maybe? And now, what if I put the sampler in here? If this works, I'm going to be livid. One second. Speakers, chat mic, sample. Does that work? No, it did not. Jesus Christ. Chat, I literally don't know why you aren't getting audio. Give me one more second, and then if we can't figure it out, I'm throwing all this in the trash, and I guess we're playing the fucking Sonic Origins version, which is gonna make me mad, but I don't know what else to do. I'll put it on the fun BRB screen. This is getting on my nerves, chat. I cannot figure it out for the life of me. I don't know what is wrong. I can hear the audio just fine, and y'all can't, and I don't know why that is. It's probably something I'm going to have to figure out off stream, which means we're probably just going to have to play the Sonic Origins version of the game. Which is sad, because I wanted to play it on original hardware, but we'll do that some other time instead, I guess. But we got to get this show on the road. Y'all are wanting to see it. Yo, more thought. What's good, homie? Commented on your video a little while ago about maybe being my video editor. Yeah, dude. Messaged you in Discord twice. Thought I'd send one more message. I don't know why I didn't. Yeah, dude, I don't have any messages from you. Oh, message requests. Oh yeah, here you are. My bad. I didn't see that you had a different name in Discord. Sweet, man. Yeah, I'll check it out. I appreciate it, man. We'll see about it. I will respond to you after the... I'll read your message and get to you about it after the stream, though. Okay, well... I guess let's play Sonic 2. I know what I don't like about this is I don't like having my camera on the right side during a Sonic game, you know? It never works out well. Let me just move. Hold on. Let's just see if I can copy, paste. Ah! Don't jumble me around like that. I'll just put myself up here. That might work out better, right? That'll work. Okay. Except I'm like 1 pixel. Hold on. Yeah, okay. I didn't want any green pixels and stuff being distracting behind my face. Okay. Let's not have the competing musics. All right. I do need to hop over here for just a second, though. Hold on. I need to disable source record over here and enable it over here. Display capture, enable source record. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Okay, I guess I could have done classic mode, but no, that's fine. Sonic 2. Yeah, we know what happens. Sega! So, is it me or is the background slightly red on that screen? Okay. How come we can't Sonic Advance 3 this shit and have every character be a combination? I actually don't have a Sonic and Tails one. Let's do that. As it was meant to be. All right, Emerald Hill Zone. Not a... I go back and forth on this one. This is one of those that I'm like, man, this level design is kind of low-key brilliant, but it's also really derivative of Green Hill. Just doesn't bring a whole lot new to the table. That being said, like, it kind of does bring a whole lot new to the table. Like, it's got a good mix of familiar and new, you know. We've got the you know, the diagonal springs. We've got the fucking floating geometry. Green Hill Zone had a focus on being super naturalistic and having nothing except for like the obvious, like the floating platforms that are like objects. The actual level design itself didn't have any like floating structures or like bits that were disconnected. And Emerald Hill from the get-go is like, nah, we're cool with that. We don't mind that at all, in fact. I've just never been a huge fan of the Field of Flowers. I don't feel like it works as well as the... I don't like that there's a green foreground and a green background. There's usually a pretty good distinction between kind of the floor and like the foreground and the background when it comes to color selection in these games. Not so much here. Not a big fan of that. Things I like, though. I like that there's a shortcut down here implied by the fact that there was stuff that you could come down here that, you know, on the thing. Can't find my words. Man. I kind of feel like this stream's a disaster, but it's all right. Goodness gracious. Great, there's my 1000th coin. Actually, it's probably way higher than that. They also do good job of introducing you to like what all the monitors do and like loops and going fast and momentum down hills and things like that. Lots of springs to bounce off, you know, lots of fucking checkpoints and shit so you can get the Chaos Emeralds. The corkscrew's pretty cool. Like, I've gotta admit, it's pretty dope. And yeah, it makes sense to start out familiar. But it doesn't feel like it necessarily improves. You know, Green Hill's one of those things where it's like you can't beat it. You can't improve on it. And so trying is a futile attempt. I go back and forth on the music. I did a cover of this song basically. I did a like a remix of this song on this channel actually. Which you might make you think it's one of my more favorite Sonic songs, but it might be. I don't know. It's all right. It's good. I might like it more than the Green Hill Zone song. In fact, it's pretty damn catchy. I did kind of ruin it for myself by working on it for so long. Now I can't unhear like all of the like little things that annoy me about it, but as a song though, it's objectively good. I have to admit. I also really like the idea of the clouds like meeting the horizon in the background and having the reflection in the water and have the reflection be animated. Very cool effect. Very cool effect that they did. So all of the water effects you see in the background, purely palette cycles. It's just colors changing to other colors and just staggered in such a way that it looks like it's animated. That's literally all it is. I might be wrong on that. Maybe this one actually does have animated backgrounds. This level, I mean, but that's how they did it with Green Hill Zone and Sonic 1. So it's probably how they did it here. Yeah, I might need to check my facts on that one. God damn it, Tails. All right, well that's what we got the spin dash for. First time that happened, Yuji Naka was like, spin dash, we need it. We need a way to gain speed. I'm pretty sure that's a Sonic Origin thing. I'm pretty sure that wall had collision in the original. Feels like something that was true. And of course we skip most of the level by just flying over it. That's the problem with Sonic 2, man. Also, bottomless pit. Bottomless pit in the first level of the game. In this random fuck off corner of the level that you otherwise wouldn't find. Like if I go through this wall here, if I go through this secret to get this hello? Hello? Is it actually from that side? So are we supposed to come down here? And I want to get this secret, and then that hole is there. How do you get that fucking shield? What? I'm tripping. How do you get that shield? Do I have to like... What? Okay, hold on. Ah, that's very unintuitive, but fine. Fine. Oh, and you can come out there. You can come out, you just can't go in. Weird. Strange design choices. Strange design choices. Cool design choices, but strange. And then, of course, we have the boss. Probably the most brain dead boss in Sonic history. Also, shout outs to Sonic Origins having black glasses Eggman. I'm pretty sure they changed that in the mobile port and brought it back for this version. Because Eggman's depicted having his blue glasses everywhere, so they updated it to be consistent in Sonic 3. Actually, maybe it's just Sonic 3 they changed then. Huh, weird. Because they did change it in Sonic 3 in Origins, right? I'm not crazy. I'm probably crazy. Okay. Chemical Plant Zone. Well, shit, hold on. Let's I'm getting ahead of myself. We're supposed to rank this now, right? Okay. Where's my tier list? Ah, yeah, here we go. One of my thousands and thousands of tabs. All right, chat. We need to rank Emerald Hill Zone. Where do we rank it? It's a good level. It's a short level. Its theming is derivative, but its song is a banger. But you can kind of just fly over the level because its design is just you just go too fast. It's too short. But it's really well designed in the sense that there are secrets that you can find, and it's non-linear, and it's pretty cool. I don't know. I give it a 3 out of 5 on theming, and a 3 out of 5 in design. That puts it at the top of C tier. That's gonna be controversial. I know it is. But that's what I think is right. I think that's it. People are gonna be like, Emerald Hill Zone under Marble Zone. I'm gonna be like, yeah, actually. I think I said it. I don't know. I might. Bottom of B tier, top of C tier. I'm gonna keep it top of C tier for now. C tier needs more entries, so I think it's a 6 out of 10. For those that don't remember, we are rating every level on a scale of 1 out of 5 in 2 categories. That's theming and design. Theming has everything to do with the level that's not design, and then the design is the structure of the level itself, stripped of all of its like flavor. It's pure mechanics. So things like bosses, level design, gimmicks all fall into design. Whereas like the level art, the level theming, the level music, the vibe of the level all falls into theming. So now we go on to Chemical Plant, which of course we all know is going to score highly because it's fucking Chemical Plant, and everybody loves Chemical Plant. Who doesn't? They knew this was one of their best designed levels, and so they put it second, even though it was meant to be much later in the game. They were like, nah, let's lead with that. Let's lead with that shit. And it's kind of new, you know? It's got kind of the factory vibes from Scrap Brain, but it completely flips Scrap Brain on its head. And makes it much less industrial and much more like, I don't know, gooey, I guess. Oozy. Chemically. It's cool that, this game kind of fleshes out. It's like, oh, Eggman doesn't have just like one headquarters. He's got like factories and industrial centers all over the place. Act 1, not long enough. Biggest complaint about Chemical Plant. Act 1 is not long enough. Biggest complaint about most of these levels is that these levels aren't long enough. Sonic 2 is too fast sometimes. I said it. Sonic 1 was slow because they needed more game. Sonic 2 is too fast. Gotta love this giant fucking ramp here at the beginning. Good set piece design. It's good. You can remember like parts of the level. You know, it's not just a random assortment of different. You know, like, oh, there's like some platforms, and then there's some enemies, and then there's some more platforms. It's like, no, there's that big ramp at the fucking beginning. And then there's the part with the water that we're coming up on. You know, you guys can remember the layout of Chemical Plant. Just from memory, just from playing it, right? And you can probably get that from one playthrough. And of course the ramps at the beginning of Act 1 that kind of wave back and forth, you know? Lots of going fast in this level. Not a whole lot of thought needed so far. Most of the people, when people say, here's the thing, when people say that Sonic is all about just holding right and just going fast, I feel like those are the people that grew up that played only Sonic 2 because they heard it was the best one and then never played anything else. There was this consensus. People don't remember this. And they shouldn't, because I'm not convinced that it was actually true. But in my experience, I felt like Sonic 2 was more popular than Sonic 3 as a kid. Totally with that jump. I feel like the consensus was that Sonic 2 was the best one, and Sonic 3 wasn't as popular because not as many people had played it, and like people didn't like it as much, and it wasn't as good as Sonic 2. I feel like that was the consensus. And I was like, no, y'all are sleeping on Sonic 3. It's the best one. And then something changed, and I don't know when it changed. And maybe it was always this way. But at some point, the consensus became, no, Sonic 3 is the best. Now, you guys may have missed it, but I just took a major shortcut because this level's brilliantly designed. This ramp here, you just jump off of it, and you can go clear into the next part of the level. Whereas most first-time players are going to be launched into this section, and this is another set piece that you're going to remember. Right? Everybody fucking remembers the tunnel that closes in on you, and then you start drowning in Chemical Plant. This is really one of the only times that the water is really relevant in this level, and there's really not many water levels in Sonic 2 to begin with. In fact, I think this is the only classic Sonic game you can beat without touching water, which is pretty dope. Yeah, because you have to touch water in Sonic 1. Sonic CD you do. Yeah, because you have to fight the boss underwater. I was about to say, because Tidal Tempest actually does a pretty good job of not making you go underwater if you don't want to. For the most part. But the boss you end up fighting, so. Tails! Classic. Yo, it's getting a point off just for that. It's getting a point off just for that. I'm so glad they kept that in Origins, man. I also love that they put those blocks right there just for that. Just for if you fell in that particular place. Yeah, serves you right, motherfucker. There we go. Again, kind of brain dead bosses. All right. Chemical Plant. I want to put it in S tier, but I think it has to go on top of A tier. I don't know that it's quite an S tier level. In fact, I'm going to make people upset because I don't know that Sonic 2 has any S tier levels. Sonic 3 is going to have a shit ton, but Sonic 2 I don't think has any. Chemical Plant is an A for sure. I give it a 4.5 out of 5 on theming. Music's great. Theming's great. But I give it like a 3 out of 5 on design. Well, I give it a 3.5. I want to give it a 4 out of 5 on design. But the boss just doesn't do it for me. 3.5. I'm sorry, 3.5 just for the boss. So it gets knocked down to A tier. Sorry, Chemical Plant fanboys. That's my truth. I have to speak my truth. Aquatic Ruin Zone. Now, again, not a huge fan of just the repeating trees in the background. However, this otherwise has some of the best art in the entire game. It's also got sick music. This should have honestly been maybe the second or maybe even the first level of the game. I don't know that you could have... if you just didn't call it Aquatic Ruin, I think this could work as the first level of the game, honestly. And if you had maybe more water in the game, so that wasn't the only water level, you know? Because Chemical Plant has that one section where you might drown, but really this is the only other water level in the game, so... Because, you know, Angel Island had water, and it wasn't a water level, you know? It helped that Hydrosity was followed immediately thereafter. Yeah, put more water in Chemical Plant, and less water in Aquatic Ruin, and make Aquatic Ruin the first zone of the game. Get rid of Emerald Hill, because this would have been familiar to Green Hill, but spicing it up, you know? Shoutouts to Grounder. Maybe the most popular Badnik of all time. Only because Scratch doesn't have a game equivalent. And see, still plenty of opportunities to go fast. I like that you don't have to touch the water at all in Aquatic Ruin. Now, it's really hard to do in Act 2. I don't know if I can do it. We'll see. But for all the water levels in Sonic, this one doesn't force you to go in the water. You're rewarded for staying out, and by doing careful platforming to stay out of it, which I think is pretty cool. I'm pretty bad about staying out of it. Pretty bad about making all these jumps here in Act 2 that keeps me above water, but we'll see. And see, I love the tree canopy that follows you in the foreground. That's such a sick... They really started playing with the foreground elements in this game. But there was a little bit of it in Sonic 1 with Starlight Zone. But here we've got the waterfalls in front of us. We've got, you know, I mean, there was that in Green Hill Zone as well. But we've got the trees in front of us that have their own parallax layer. It's pretty dope. Music's good. Music's really good. The loops are cool. I did end up falling in the water here, but like only a little. Also, fuck the collision on that wall. They put collision on that wall, but not the one earlier in Emerald Hill. Why's that got collision? Why does this right here have collision? I think he's afraid of drowning. Yeah, true. That's same for me. I'm not afraid of heights, but I am afraid of falling from a high place. And see, this is a great place to like show off the spin dash and like how awesome it is, because you can like do shit like that to get yourself out of the water and not have to do the water section. Fuck, I say as I immediately fall in the water and have to do the water section. Yo. Arguably might be my favorite zone in the game. You know what? Aquatic Ruin might be S tier. I've literally had nothing negative to say about this level. Hydrosity is largely regarded to be the best water level in Sonic games, and it probably is. But Aquatic Ruin's really good. It's really, really good. Its boss is good too. This is the first good boss in the game. It's one where you can, you know, it's got Sonic 1's philosophy of like you can take your time and do it safely, or you can do the risky strat and be a pro. That's a little harder to do in Origins because the things are further apart, but I think, right? Maybe they're not, because the screen had to scroll, but that would be interesting if they were perfectly spaced for a 16:9 screen. But I do remember that the boss arena does scroll left to right. You don't have both pillars on the screen at one time in the original, so maybe. And you still have to time that as well, because his hammer has a hitbox, so he can actually smash you with the hammer if you're staying on top of that and you're not careful. But yeah, Alan, that's a good point. That's a good point. right. That's Aquatic Ruin. Man. Yeah, I think I've got it. A is 8 to 9. Can I give it a 9.5? Here's the thing. In order to get S tier, it has to get either a 4.5. No, it actually can't. By the way I've got it set up, in order for something to be S tier, it has to get a 5 out of 5 in at least one category. Or it has to be so good that it gets a best in show, and it gets a 5.5 out of 5. I don't know. I want to give it like a 4.5 out of 5 in theming and a 4.5 out of 5 on design. But I might have to give it a 5 out of 5 on theming. Yeah, fuck it. Aquatic Ruins are our second S tier. I don't know that I thought Aquatic Ruin was my favorite level in this game, but it might be. Might be the best. Right, Casino Night. This is gonna be another controversial opinion. I don't really much care for casino levels in Sonic games. I don't know. Is that a controversial opinion? I feel like that's a hot take. A lot of people, they're popular. I will say. Okay, here's the thing. What I'll give casino levels, and I think I mentioned this in my like analysis of like Sonic level design, Sonic 1 and 2's level design. But casino levels are like almost uniquely Sonic, you know? Because like Mario has a forest level, you know, Mario has a plains, you know, whatever, Green Hill type, you know, whatever. God damn it. But see, I hate this. I hate this. I hate it. I hate this. I have to admit. Aren't the pinball mechanics the most important part of a Sonic game? Sort of. I mean, kind of. But Sonic Spinball is not that popular. Here's the thing. Everybody glazes Casino Night, but then they shit on Sonic Spinball. It's like, you can't have it both ways. Nobody fucking likes Sonic Spinball. My grandpa liked Sonic Spinball. My grandpa owned a Sega Genesis, and Sonic Spinball was one of his only games that he played. Because he was, he grew up in the, you know, 60s or whatever. But he was super, when video games started coming out, like, he was like a young adult, you know, like a teenager, young adult. And then he just thought it was really fucking cool. And so he was super into, you know, Pong and Pac-Man and all the classics. And so even in adulthood, you know, he was in his like probably 40s and got, you know, Sega Genesis, got Sonic Spinball. Just because he liked games that he just pick up, play a couple rounds, and then put down. He wasn't into, you know, playing stories or whatever. And then he loved sports games too. He was big on, he had like, you know, multiple years of Madden, multiple years of like PGA golf with Tiger Woods on the cover. Ugh, that's what I remember from Frontiers anyway. Oh my God, the fucking pinball. God damn it. Huh, how could I forget? I wiped that like a traumatic memory. Holy shit. God damn it. That game was a mess, man. Just a hot, beautiful mess. But yeah, as I was saying, the theming might be a 5 out of 5. Well, I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5 just because I don't love the like, well, I don't know. The weird kind of gold brown-ish color that it is, I've never been a fan of it. But that is like the quintessential, like this is the, like the Vegas aesthetic in the 90s. Like you watch movies, you like watch old like you watch Casino, and this is what Casino looks like, you know? Then again, they did just use like 0000FF blue and FF0000 red on a lot of these like big lights, VR neon lights, and I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like we could have gotten a little bit more creative. It's tough. It's gonna be tough to rank this one. gonna be tough to rank. The other problem is that I love the boss from this one. This one might have the best boss in the game. That is the highlight. I remember how they crammed in a whole Touhou game for the final boss, dude. That was whack. I'm so glad they had like a DLC, like a story DLC for that game. That game really needed a like last story type thing, and they added, and it made the game, it brought the game from like a 6 out of 10, maybe 7 out of 10 to like an 8.5, 9 out of 10, honestly, in my opinion. Sonic Frontiers is one of those games, it's the quintessential, it's fun, but it's not necessarily good, you know? Like I can't necessarily say that Sonic Frontiers is a well-designed, you know, robust video game. I can't necessarily say that. But it's fun as fuck. It's really fucking fun to play when you get right down to it. For the most part, there are some parts that drag and parts that are unnecessary, but Banana Slamma, or rather the chili dog variant of that phrase. What an entrance. Baboon Tunes 96. Happy 30th birthday coming up. Or already. Also, this song. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dum, dum, dum. Dum, 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 dum. Hey, I got out of there, not so bad. But yeah, this song is dope. This song is fucking dope. It takes a lot of, like, it is a very authentic swing song. As a man who's played many a swing song in his life, this is a very authentic swing experience. Takes kind of rhythms from In the Mood. It's super dope. This might be the best boss in the game. This is, again, a boss you couldn't make in Mario, you know? Like, you couldn't, none of this, like, you could do the car. In fact, I've even played a Flash game where you fight the drill car. You know, you could fight the drill car in Mario. You could fight it in you know, another platformer. But you can't fight this boss. You can't put this boss in any other game without it feeling out of place. And it's so at home here. So it's tough. I might have to put my personal feelings aside and give this level the love it deserves. It might actually be good. Yes, it actually does have like the early games jank, and that's what makes it feel good. Like it feels like a Sonic Adventure game. Like it feels like Sonic Adventure 1 or 2 or Heroes. It's not as fucked up to feel like Sonic 06, you know, or Sonic Boom. And it's not so like refined that it's boring like Sonic Forces, you know? It's not so stripped of its interesting parts. It's interesting blemishes and boils. Okay, hold on. We gotta rank Casino Night Zone. Ah, jeez. Yo, Chucky, thanks for the follow. I appreciate you. We were supposed to... I love Origins too. We were supposed to... Oh, thank you so much for the 5 biddies, man. I appreciate it. I wanted to play this on real hardware. I had my Sega Genesis hooked up today to play this on Sega, but for some reason I cannot get the fucking audio to work in OBS, and I don't know why. So we had to play the Origins version. So Casino Night Zone, man. Here's the thing. Here's how I feel about Casino Night. I feel like it belongs in D tier. But if I'm being objective, the theming's really good. It might have to be an A tier. I don't know that it's better than Chemical Plant. But damn, it's good. It's kind of, yeah, it's C or D tier for me, but the theming is so good. The theming is so good. Saying it's B tier. Casino zones are really good levels, but no one likes it. I put Labyrinth around an A. What would you rank everything else in Sonic 1? Sonic 3 doesn't really even have a casino-themed level. It's got Carnival Night, which is a night-themed level, a night city-themed level, but not necessarily casino level. But it's got all the same aspects. I think it's really interesting how they always put like a spring yard, a casino night, spring stadium, right? Kind of that weird kind of like, I don't know. It's a theme, like it doesn't have, like there's something connecting those kinds of levels. It's like a, I don't know, revelry theme, it's like places you go to have like carnal fun, like, there's something so interesting about that as like a unifying theme between levels in Sonic games. Yeah, because it's easy to get them confused because it's Casino Night and Carnival Night is in Sonic 3, yeah. And they are very similar in design, like, and Carnival Night has some of those little pinball-y elements in it. So it's got the things that bump you bump across the stage. It's got the actual bumpers themselves, like Spring Yard Zone does. It has water for some reason. 5 out of the 6 zones in Sonic 3 have water. And there is no water in Sonic and Knuckles. I always thought that was interesting. I think Spring Yard should go D tier. That's debate. That's pretty bold. I don't know that's necessarily D tier. I think it's probably middle or bottom of C tier. I don't know that's D tier. Now, I don't know that I would put Casino Night Zone over Scrap Brain Zone. But, yeah, no, I won't put it over Scrap Brain Zone. I'll give it a 4.5 out of 10 in theming, or out of 5. 4.5 out of 5 in theming. And I'll give it a 3.5 in design. So it gets an 8. It's bottom of 8 here. Right? Emerald Hill at C, you say. I went over it earlier. I explained my reasoning. I feel like Emerald Hill does not bring enough to the table to warrant its existence. I feel like it's just Green Hill Zone, but worse. And for that, it took major hits in the theming department. And honestly, its design, it's too short of a level to really showcase, what's great about it. So it's debatable. It probably belongs at the bottom of B tier, honestly, but I put it at the top of C. I gave it a 6 out of 10. Ugh. You think Starlight Zone belongs above Casino Night Zone? Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy Starlight Zone more. But Casino Night Zone's boss and its theming, yeah, I gotta keep it an 8 here. I gotta keep it. It's an 8 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10. I gotta give it to it. I have to take my personal feelings out of it and gotta be objective. Best I can. Now, Hilltop Zone. Hilltop Zone's an interesting one. Because I actually think it's obviously derivative. It's the same foreground art as Emerald Hill Zone. But like, I didn't even notice that as a kid. I did not even notice that it was exactly the same foreground art. Like, it felt like the same, it was cut from the same DNA, but it did not feel like the same level. And the layouts are completely different, and the gimmicks are completely different. So even though this is derivative of a derivative level, it feels original, and it's super cool. You could have made this the first level of the game. This would have made for a cool first level. Hilltop. Like, it's peak, it's Green Hill Zone, but it's peak. You know what I mean? Like, they could have added some of the faster elements, some of the big some of the big loops, the faster loops from Emerald Hill Zone. Now, I've never been a big fan of these trees. These look fan-made. This looks like fan art to me. And I don't mean that to bash on fan art. It just doesn't look like it fits, you know? You guys know what I mean, right? Like, it looks like it was added in post. I don't know how. Looks like beta elements, exactly. Yeah, I've never been a fan of those trees. Don't know why. The badniks are cool. Little mining badniks, little Paleosaurus. Is that what they're called? These guys? Fun fact, if you hit one of those in the wrong way in the original game, on original hardware, you crash the game. I think it's in Act 2, though. Waiting for the goat level Mystic Cave? I don't know about Mystic Cave. The music does hit hard. It's got a weirdly carnival theme to it, though, which I've never understood. It might have the best music in the game. You might be right. Y'all might be right. Here's the thing I love about Hilltop Zone Act 2. I'm gonna show you guys. That's okay. I am a fucking nerd for having every single Sonic zone in order memorized. Like, though I couldn't tell you what I think is funny, is that this game has too many zones. Sonic 2 has 9 zones, or actually, it has 11 zones if you count Sky Chase, Wing Fortress, and Death Egg as all each like different zones. It has 11 zones, which is a weird number, right? You would think, 10 maybe, but the first game had 6, and then Sonic 3 had 6, and Sonic CD had 7, and Sonic 3D Blast had 7, and Sonic and Knuckles I think had 6, but Knuckles is shorter, so it's a little bit different. But it had Mushroom Hill, Flying Battery, Sandopolis, Lava Reef, Sky Sanctuary, Death Egg. Right, yeah, it had 6. So, like, every Sonic game has 6 or 7 levels except for Sonic 2. Every classic Sonic game, at least. Except for Sonic 2, which has 9 for some reason. Or 11 for some reason. We're doing 9 today because I'm grouping in Sky Chase, Wing Fortress, and Death Egg all as one zone. Because they're really kind of structured like that. So here's the thing. So, fun fact. This jump right here, you'd be forgiven if you missed it. We can either go down this tube, or we can do this obscure jump right here, where you have to kind of launch yourself off the platform a little bit, gain some momentum, and come up here. This top route never again intersects with the bottom route. This is an entirely separate level, depending on, and that's the very beginning of the level. Like, hold on, I'm just gonna run it back real quick. Shit. Just gonna run it back real quick. This is the beginning of the level. Back here. Right? Very first thing you do. Literally the first thing you do is make a choice. Do you want to play Hilltop Act 2 top route or Hilltop Act 2 bottom route? It's a choice. It never again intersects. I think there's maybe one spot where you can fall. Like I think here if you fall. Once we come back to the... God damn it, Tails. Once we get on top of here. And then if we were to fall here, I think this maybe drops us down to the lower route. But other than that, I don't think there's any accessibility between the two routes. And there's no way to get back up to the top route after you take the little tunnel. It is cool as hell. It's something I really like about this level. I've actually never played this top route, I don't think. I always take the bottom route. But I discovered when I was doing the level analysis video that this level has a top route that I didn't fucking know about, which is fucking dope. Oh, this might be where it is. You can jump down here and this will take you to the bottom route as well, I think. But yeah, you skip entire set pieces Like there's that room, like there's a big set piece room in here. Oh, maybe I did. Oh yeah. There's you know the room where there's the lava. You know the lava's rising instead of the ground. In here it's the floor, like Sandopolis or marble, like marble in a you know Sonic 3. I've never played this. I've never done this. I've never done this before. Isn't that cool? That's fucking cool as fuck. Even with debug mode, I never discovered this. Like, that's so dope. Like, it feels like I'm playing like a ROM hack right now. Because I've never seen this level design. I'm used to having the game memorized, you know? Okay, I think this is maybe where they sync up, because I do recognize this. Because the routes do obviously, you know, meet somewhere close to the boss. And I think we're coming up on the boss here, so. Then the boss of this zone, you know, it's not terrible. It would work as an early game boss. It's you know, it's not the simplest to defeat quickly. You know, it's somewhat dangerous. I'll give them that. And like, there's, you know, you gotta count your hits, because otherwise you'll fall in the lava if you want to keep your rings. Like, that's a pretty good boss. Hilltop Zone might also be an S. Fuck. And nothing bad to say about this zone, except the trees. Yeah, for the trees, I have to give it a 4.5 out of 5 in theming. But for design, it might have a 5 out of 5. It might be S tier. It might be S tier. I don't know. It might be top of A tier. It might be top of A tier. Because it might just be, it might be a 4.5 out of 5 in design. Just because of the fact that it's derivative of a derivative. Like, if I'm going to knock off points of things being derivative, like, but it's such a fresh spin that it doesn't feel derivative anymore, you know? Like, I could call chemical plant derivative and say it's like scrap brain, but it's not, you know? It's like a completely different level. So I'm gonna put it bottom of S tier. I give it like a 4.1 out of 5, or 4.6 out of 5 in design. I also love that you're above the clouds. I think that's dope. Very good use of parallax. And then there's Mystic Cave. Now, carnival music. No idea why it uses the March of the Gladiators like that. Because they do the same thing in Sonic 3 with Carnival Night Zone. Everything else sounds like, you know, it could be like haunted, spooky type of mine type of thing. But that one part of the song just sounds like carnival vibes. I don't know why. Also, fucking shout outs to the swing. You know, there was the swing in Carnival Night Zone, and then there's the swing in this level in the music. That's incredibly hard to program on the Sega Genesis, because you have to write it as though it's in, you know, constantly doing triplets, as though it's in 12/8, basically. And that's hard. That's not easy. It's not just a swing button on the Genesis that made the song swing, you know? You had to program that shit by hand. And the sound engineers did it. Masato Nakamura did it. Okay, this is a really cool detail. I wish more Sonic levels did this. There's do you guys know who Lapper is? Lapper Dev? He's making Sonic Studio, which is like a Sonic version of Mario Maker right now. And he's been working on it for a long time. He's a fucking amazing YouTuber. He has some of the best like editing and like post production of any YouTuber I've ever seen. And he does this thing where he redoes the level arts for the zones. And some detail he puts in is he puts foreground elements in the background. Like you'll see like loops and tiny rings and floating platforms in the background. And Mystic Cave is the only level in the original Sonic game that I think does that as well. You see like the minecart tracks or whatever we're, running on in the background as well. And I think that's super dope. Now again, they went for like, they call it Mystic Cave. Here's my only complaint about this level with theming wise. They call it Mystic Cave. They give it this spooky ass music. And then there's not really anything mystic about it. I mean, besides these erect fucking plants growing out of the floor, I guess, that make crushers, but it's really just kind of an abandoned mine. There's no mine carts. There's not really... The fireflies are cool, I guess, but like the badniks don't really like fit that well. There's not really just a whole lot going on. Like we just have bridges that you open and lower using vines for some reason. And then we've got platforms that click clack. And then we've got, the boxes that rotate on themselves. Like, it's just kind of, it just doesn't fit together. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know that this is an S tier. I've never really felt like this level gels, And then, of course, we've got the abandoned spike pit. Or the evil spike pit that has ruined every Supersonic's day. That became the entrance to Hidden Palace Zone. I'm not doing Hidden Palace Zone today. We're doing the originals. I don't really care for Hidden Palace Zone as it appears in this game. The boss is really shitty and takes forever. The level itself is just kind of like, it's cool, but it's just kind of like there. I played it once and then I'm like, okay, cool. I never have to play this again. I have, but played it again, but it's not my favorite, so we won't even be ranking it today. I don't really care. We're not gonna do like we're not gonna do the 2-player zones either, so it's fine. Remember when you said no zone? Sonic 2 zone will be an S? Yeah. I do like the purple, green, and orange. The entire secondary color palette with just a little bit of blue peeking through. It is good. And this boss is pretty good. Sonic 2 has some good bosses, okay? I feel like Sonic 2's bosses overall are a mixed bag compared to Sonic 1, and especially compared to Sonic 3. But like, so is Sonic CDs, and I defend Sonic CD's bosses, so. Yeah, I remember that. They didn't know what genocide meant. So they're like, oh yeah, that sounds like a cool name for a level. And they're like, oh. Localization team was like, we can't do that, chief. Yeah, no, this zone in particular. No, hold on, we gotta rank Mystic Cave. Mystic Cave, I'm gonna give it the theming. Okay, here's the deal. The design is just nothing special. It's just kind of there. I don't really like. It doesn't really have any cool set pieces, that are really memorable. There's no, the big ramp from Chemical Plant. The lava rising in Hilltop. Even, the lava chasing you in Marble, or, the big sprawling rooms in Labyrinth, the staircase up to the boss, the big S tube up to the ramp into the big field of rings in Green Hill Zone. There's not those like iconic set piece moments in Mystic Cave. You just kind of start it and then you fight the boss and then you're done. And it's just over before it starts. And I don't know. It's just kind of there. So, I got to give it a 3 out of 5 in terms of... I'll give it like a 3.25 in mechanics and a 3.25 in theming, so that it goes at the bottom of B tier instead of being in C tier. I like it enough to not put it in C tier. I think it's better than Emerald Hill. I wouldn't feel right putting it there. I think it belongs there. Yeah, it has entirely different context now. Entirely different context now. Yo, we got 1996 and 2006 represented. We celebrating decades in this house today. God, 2006 was 20 years ago, dude. I remember 2006. I'm now at the age where I can say I remember 20 years ago. That's fucking wild, man. I think right now is the first time I've really come to terms with that fact, or even really realized it. That's whack. Now, Oil Ocean, it's funny enough, I didn't understand why this, same thing with the Carnival Night, or Mystic Cave having the carnival music. I didn't understand why this had like a desert aesthetic until I understood the politics of oil as an adult. I was like, it's an ocean. Why has it got desert? Why has it got desert stuff going on? Now again, cool secondary color thing going on here. Purple, orange, and green. Pretty solid colors to go with. For a Sonic level, because you know you're not going to clash with the very primary color focused main characters. However, they did put Tails in this game, so having orange backgrounds now doesn't solve the problem of Sonic against a blue sky, but I don't know. The theming in this level is really good. The theming of this level is pretty good. The background art's pretty iconic. I even used the background art for this for my Sonic overlays, my Twitch overlays. For Tails's, in fact. I used a combination of, I used Oil Ocean's background, but Chemical Plant's foreground. The only one I mixed and matched. Yeah, the seahorses, they're kind of annoying. But the little octopi, they're all ocean-themed badniks. Because it's Oil Ocean Zone. Like, it's got strong theming compared to Mystic Cave Zone. I gotta give it that. Here's the thing. If I were ranking these by, like, fun, how much fun I have playing them, the rankings are entirely different. Right? Because I've been playing these levels for years. I know them inside and out. And some of them don't hit as much on replay as they did the very first time, right? I've played these levels 1,000 times. They don't hit the same. But I'm just gonna die. I don't want to do that. But if I'm trying to be critical, I'm trying to be objective. Of like, this is good design, right? Which, I mean, it's at the end of the day, all design for something like a video game is subjective, right? Really, everything is subjective when you really get right down to it. But as far as like, you know, trying to be sort of fair and balanced, I guess, and unbiased, just because I've, you know, got my own opinions on whether or not I like something, doesn't mean it's not good, right? The Donkey Kong Country barrels are kind of cool, yeah. But it's just kind of, again, it's one of those things that doesn't hold up on replay, right? Because they just take control away from you. It's just automation, right? People complain about automation in Sonic games. This game kind of really was the first to really start to introduce like a lot of automation. in the name of going fast, right? But that did also give us the glitch where if you get knocked out of it in the original game on original hardware, you get knocked out of the Donkey Kong barrels, you'll basically have supersonic physics for the rest of the level. This is also why we're losing a lot of points. This is the worst boss maybe in classic Sonic history. Any boss where you're literally just sitting and waiting for 10 seconds at a time in a Sonic game is no bueno. And the attacks aren't even hard to dodge. And you've got the little opening here where you don't quite get 4 hits in. So you got to sit through another cycle. Worst boss in Sonic history, maybe. Again, thematically, kind of cool. But it should have been like Lava Reef Zone where we could, Lava Reef Act 1's mini boss where it's got the 2 little things on the side and then the hand that comes up. And then the hand that comes up, and the hand is what you have to destroy. You can also destroy the things on the side, and if you destroy the things on the side, the hand comes up more often. Something like that. Where maybe you can destroy, you know, multiple tentacles come out at once, but you can destroy the tentacles. And then if you destroy the tentacles, you know, the boss comes out faster. Something like that. Would have made for a better boss. All right, Oil Ocean Zone. Its vertical design does mix things up rather well, especially with Mystic Cave being rather horizontal. But I don't like that they put the orange, green, and purple zones next to each other. Mystic Cave is all orange, green, and purple, and Oil Ocean Zone is all orange, green, and purple. So it's kind of weird. Again, I have to, it's got strong theming, so I've got to give it good theming, but I really hate the design. I give it a... damn. I really thought I'd be putting more of these zones lower on the list. People were like, I got a comment on the Sonic 1 video that was like, you need to knock the Sonic 1 zones down a peg because once you start putting in the zones from the other games, the top tiers are going to fill up. And I was like, you doubt how much I dislike the zones for Sonic 2. But honestly, those are good. Those are fucking good. And the problem is that it's hard to say that there's a bad Sonic level in terms of theming, right? I don't know. I give it maybe... Because it's hard to give it a 2 out of 5, right? Giving it a 2 out of 5 is hard, right? Giving anything a 2 out of 5 is hard. But if you get 2 2s out of 5s, that still puts you in C tier. So, yeah, they definitely up the saturation in Sonic 2, which actually, the problem with it is that the screenshots I have for Sonic 1 here, they're actually like darkened. I did that on purpose. But I threw this together. The Sonic 2 zones, I didn't. I couldn't actually do that because the zones don't fade in the same way as they do in Sonic 1. These are actual screenshots taken from Sonic 1 where after the title card comes in, the level fades in. And I just took I just was like, okay, I'll take the 10th frame of fade in and have that be so that the names are readable against the backdrops. But then for Sonic 2, you can't really do that because the zones don't fade in. The title card sweeps off. And so you're left with like Emerald Hill just looked like a bunch of garbled mess. And so I tried to get like cleaner screenshots just from Google, just threw them together. So to be fair, these are desaturated basically, or less contrasty, less bright versions of Sonic 1's levels. But you are correct in that Sonic 2 is significantly more saturated. Like Sonic 1 versus Sonic 2 sprites. Like you can see, Sonic 1 is significantly less saturated than all the rest, right? And then Sonic Mania did something cool where they took they made Sonic a little bit more cyan, they made Tails a little bit more yellow, and they made Knuckles a little bit more magenta to make them like complementary colors with each other, like triadic complementary colors. Whereas in Sonic 2, Sonic is very blue and Tails is very orange because those are like secondary, primary, complementary, proper complementary colors. It's been funny to see you start out saying, like, I don't think this level will rank well, it's fine, but I'm not big on it. And then proceed to gush over it while actually playing. That's kind of Sonic 2, really. That's kind of that's why it's so hard to be objective with these games, you know? Is like in my memories, I'm like, Sonic 2 is the worst of the original trilogy of the original games. You know, Labyrinth Zone is not a well-designed level, and then I'll play Sonic 1. I could play Labyrinth Zone over and over and over again because I just love Sonic that much. Like, these games are so fucking good. I can't deny it. Did we end up ranking? Did we rank Oil Ocean? Yeah, I think I put it bottom of C tier. It's just I'm trying to think of excuses to put it lower, but I honestly can't. It's not. The theming is so good, though. It's so well themed. But the boss is so awful. God, this is so tough. It might have to go above Emerald Hill. It might be a... damn. 4.5 out of 5 theming. 1.5 out of 5 design. It's 6. It's top of C tier. I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it at that. I included E tier as a joke. I included E tier just because Sonic games typically will have like E as a ranking, like Sonic Adventure 2 and all that. But in reality, I probably split these up in too weird a fashion for it to really be useful. To have an E rank, it probably should just be like under 2.5 as an F. But oh well. Yeah, 3 and K is definitely the best. It's so good. It's so miles above anything else. It's like, if Sonic 1... If Sonic 1 is the top of Mount Fuji, and Sonic 2 is the top of Mount Everest, Sonic 3 is the International Space Station. And Sonic CD is a really wild plane ride. And now here's Metropolis Zone. Here's the thing. I'm gonna rate Metropolis Zone low. But part of me wants to be a little contrarian and rank it high. But then those fucking grasshoppers come out. And I can't. I can't do it. It's just, it's Scrap Brain Zone, but worse. The starfish, the badniks are completely nonsensical. It's a grasshopper, a crab, and a starfish. Like, don't have anything to do with the level whatsoever. And they're just the most dickish fucking badniks in the game, by far. It's like they took all the badniks that they had earlier in the game that they were like, no, this is too dickish for this level, and they just put them in this level. Yeah, agreed, Baboon. Agreed. Just, and it's, and I gushed over this zone. For having fucking non-Euclidean level design. It's fucking, this level, if you guys didn't know, plays with portals. I gushed over it in my Sonic 1 and 2 level design analysis video. I gushed over it. But when you're actually playing it, it's really not fun. Ugh. In terms of difficulty, it's probably above Scrap Brain. I don't know. Scrap Brain's probably harder than Metropolis. I feel like I always had a harder time as a kid with Scrap Brain. Though I will say probably Metropolis Zone's boss is probably harder than Final Zone's boss. But Final Zone, you don't have rings. So there's that. I don't know. I don't know that Metropolis Zone is necessarily harder. I would say that Wing Fortress Zone is probably the hardest zone in the game for a newcomer. Once you're experienced with the game, Wing Fortress is pretty easy, but I remember as a kid, I could not beat Wing Fortress to hear for the life of me. I think I know which YouTube poop you're talking about. I miss the YouTube poop days, man. I miss the YouTube poop days. Those were classics. Staying up till 3 or 4 in the morning until you're delirious, and then watching YouTube poops on your dad's laptop. That was my childhood, y'all. I would stay up till 3 or 4 in the morning watching George Lopez and The Cosby Show on Nick at Night. Watching Sonic videos on Newgrounds. Watching YouTube poops. I say my childhood. That was my like teenage years. I like pre-teen teenage years, you know. It might have been my first exposure to Sonic. What a fucking way to learn what a Sonic the Hedgehog is. To learn what the fuck is a Sonic. I always had to get Supersonic to jump over everything, get all the shortcuts and falling platforms, and Wing Fortress stomped me. Yeah, that's the problem with Wing Fortress. Ooh. I have not been considering Supersonic in these rankings and how he plays into this. Interesting. Because I feel like Wing Fortress Zone probably gets knocked down a tier if you include Supersonic, just because it's so not designed for Supersonic. Having not played it, feels like this zone could be a solid B or A if the enemies were swapped out. The music is fine. I'm personally not a big fan of this music. A lot of people like it. It's kind of funky, but I just kind of find it repetitive. And the record scratch is cool and all, but it's just kind of whatever. I'm also not a big fan of these, like it's thematic, but I'm not a big fan of these nuts. Yeah, moving on. The nuts that you have to run on just don't, they don't do it for me. And the physics on them are weird. They're cool, I guess. But they're just not very interesting after the first couple. Also, why does this have to be 3 acts? Why do they feel the need to be 3 acts? Just get rid of Act 2. Just have Act 1 and Act 3. Act 2 has nothing that it brings to the table that Act 1 and Act 3 don't hit on. And the thing is, David, I'm not doing a good job of showing just how annoying these fucking enemies are. I've played this game so many times. I know how to like manipulate the grasshoppers to not hit you with their little boomerang claws. I know how to jump over the crabs. I know where to position myself with the exploding starfish. I know how to position myself so that I don't get hit by them. But yes, they're very annoying. Yeah, when you hit the signpost and you're like, oh, Act 2 doesn't have a boss? That's disappointing. And then you realize there's an Act 3. You're like, and then there's this random piston. This doesn't show up anymore. But there might be one other one in Act 3. But really just combine Act 2 and Act 3. There only needs to be 2 acts of this though. It really didn't need to be the longest zone in the game by far. It really didn't need it. Especially because it's not actually even the last zone. And unlike Scrap Brain, where every act had a different theming, every act looks the same because they had to have the looping background in order to have the non-Euclidean level design I was just gushing about. So like, It's so hard. Yeah, there is another piston. I forgot. Yeah, so this is the non-Euclidean level design at work. I took the upper path and came in from the bottom of this room. Whereas if I had taken the bottom route, I would have come in still from the bottom of this room, but from the other way, I guess. You come in from the bottom of the room, whether you take the top route or the bottom route, which is interesting. Yeah, the starfish knocking you off the nuts after you just descended for 20 seconds, then you have to go off screen for the nut to respawn. Yes. Yes. That is classic. And then you spin dash off the... In the originals, you couldn't move Sonic if you were in the rolling state. So like obviously you can change direction midair, right? But if you were in the original game, you were in the rolling state when you jumped. You couldn't change your trajectory for the rest of that particular jump. And so if you spin dash, like you might naturally think to do on those nuts, and then you jump off and you just go flying off for whatever reason. Which it never really made sense to me. The physics on that are kind of wonky. God damn it. You just fall into the spikes, and it's bogus. It's complete bogus. Also, I miss the rigid rotations of the original game. I like that the original game almost has like clock gears, whereas these, they were like, oh yeah, let's add smooth rotation for the gears for Origins. I'm not a big fan of that. I miss when it was like chunky. I liked the chunky feel of it. Fuck you, Tails. Tails might be my favorite Sonic character, but I never missed the opportunity to shit on him. Yeah, and then they put a fucking bottomless pit here that those starfish can knock you off, except maybe not there. It's later on in the level. Yeah, it's distracting for me too. It takes me out of it because it's Mixels, right? It's basically Mixels. I guess not technically, but effectively Mixels. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one! You have to stop on a dime, or else you just get knocked the fuck off. That one you have to keep going, though. Same for this one. And luckily, this guy didn't have his fucking talons, or else he would have absolutely crushed me. All right, I take it back. Get rid of Act 3. Keep Act 1 and 2 and just put the boss at the end of Act 2. Because Act 3 sucks. This is the one that if you run too fast and that starfish knocks you off, you just die. Because that's a bottomless pit, even though the level loops vertically. Which never made sense. Okay. I feel like in Origins, they make him fly up if he gets hit twice. Yeah, I think in Origins, they make it where he flies up too high to get hit here. Maybe I'm misremembering that, but... This is a somewhat interesting boss if you care about keeping your rings and whatnot. And it's kind of a tough boss for first timers, but after that, it kind of just stops being interesting. Crush Tails with the nuts. Crush Tails with these nuts. Yeah. Okay, Metropolis Zone's finally over. I zoomed in too much. Hold on. 150%. Metropolis Zone. Okay, here's the thing. We're gonna start with a 1 in theming and a 1 in design. I feel like that's the baseline. However, I have to give it more than a 1 in theming. I'll give it a 2 in theming just because it stays on theme. You know, it's a factory. It's a Metropolis. You know. And I'll give it a. In terms of the design, again, starting with a 1, how much does the non-Euclidean really cool thing count for? It kind of doesn't really count for that much, is the problem. Because the vast majority of players are never going to know. Never even going to know. I agree. Yeah, you don't get the sense of scale from it either. It's just Scrap Brain, but worse. It's derivative for that as well. You know, it's. At least it's not purple, right? If the background were purple, be orange, green, and purple again. But no, it's just green. I'll put it in D tier. Metropolis will be our first D tier level. I think it's appropriate. Is Spring Yard really my third least favorite of Sonic 1 and 2? That's kind of weird. Sky Chase. Now again, I combine Sky Chase, Wing Fortress, and Death Egg as though they're 3 acts of one zone. For the purposes of this tier list, because Sky Chase just wouldn't be. I mean, there's no level, so how could I judge the level design, right? I like that this level's kind of the calm before the storm. Oh shit. Compared to the scale of Grand Metropolis and Heroes, yeah, totally. I love how Sonic Adventure did kind of a little reboot to try and make Sonic a little bit more like down to earth and a little bit more like feel like it takes place in our world. And then Sonic Heroes was like, nah, let's do away with that. Now Station Square and fucking Grand Metropolis exist in the same world. It's crazy. Okay, this is a cool moment though, right? It's a cool moment. Doing this on Sega Genesis, like whoever programmed this showed his buddies at work. Like he like stayed up all night getting this effect to work. And then he showed it to his buddies the next day and they were like, holy fuck, how did you do that? And like, I gotta appreciate it for that, right? Agreed. I mean, hard to beat the Genesis games, right? The one thing I don't like about this level, it's an auto-scroller. It's an auto-scroller with no checkpoints. That's kind of butt kiss. Especially because in the original game, if you spin dashed at any point. In the original game and in the Origins remake, if you spin dash at any point, you just fly off the tornado and die instantly. Rude Awakening. Also, missed opportunity. Can I take off points for missed opportunities? Missed opportunity to have player 2 control the plane, which they ended up doing in Sonic 4, I think. Sonic 4 Episode 2, I think they ended up realizing that opportunity. But I always used to tell my cousin that he was controlling the plane. I'd give him the second controller. Because he knew you could control Tails, so he was like, oh yeah, okay. I'll be the plane. Of course, I was a shithead back then, so I loved playing Wing Fortress and Death Egg the most. To show off how good I was when those are the only 2 levels that Tails can't play in. At least not with Sonic. Kind of like Big Bug Hunter or House of the Dead in design. That is a reach, but you're not wrong. Like, it's an auto scroller where you hit stuff. You know? Zone's so nice, I had to play it twice. I think that's the first time I've ever heard somebody say something positive about Sonic 4. That's because Sonic 4 Episode 2 is just forgettable. It's bad in the forgettable way. It's like C tier or like upper D tier. It's like, wow, this is bad, but then you fucking erase it from your memory. Whereas Sonic 4 Episode 1 is the one that everybody talks about, and that one is so fucking stinky garbage, awful, that you just can't take your eyes off of it, you know? Sonic 4 Episode 2 is kind of like Sonic Superstars tier, you know? The game I basically haven't mentioned since I fucking played it. Except for the one video that I pushed out like months after it came out, that was supposed to come out pretty much right after it came out. So cool shortcut. You can just clip through that. There's a whole thing where you got to kind of go around, but I don't remember a thing about either Sonic 4 episodes. Sonic 4 Episode 1 is just Sonic 1 and 2, but only 4 zones, 3 acts per zone, and completely bogus mechanics and level design. So, worse in every way. Completely unworthy of the name Sonic 4. Like, I talk about how Metal Gear Solid 4 is bad and like doesn't fit the other Metal Gear games. Then there's Sonic 4. It's like, oh Jesus Christ. Listen, speedrunners can save any game, okay? Almost any game. Also, shoutouts to just the floating monitors in this level. I think this is the case of, I think this is the only case of like truly floating monitors in Sonic games. There are other ones that are like in the ceiling or like in a tree that like are part of the level design that are technically floating as far as the game's concerned. But those are the only ones I think are actually floating. I remember thinking something just didn't load there. That's not how this game works. Ain't like it's out of render distance, you know? They just forgot. Forgot to put a platform there. This always drove me crazy as a kid because I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. It's like, where do I go? But they put rings here for a reason. I was just dumb. Then this is pretty cool, right? How the level kind of like loops in on itself because now you're like being blown backwards. But then there's this section where you gotta jump across the platforms. This is just, the problem with this level is that it's just one giant bottomless pit. And it's right at the end of the game in a game with limited continues. And that's just not kind. It's cruel, in fact. Especially when they're gonna put that there. Because you just got through that section and now you're doing this and you're panicking. And you're like, I don't know what to do. And you can take it slow. You can, I think, shimmy along this. Right? Can't you shimmy along this? Am I wrong? What the fuck is that? Is that there for then? You can't shimmy along. Hold on. Kind of have a little bit more room that I can jump on here. Can you really not shimmy across that? I swear you could. That's crazy. Copy and paste it from Chemical Plant. These platforms. But it's fine. Also, this little construction site part of the zone always confused me. If you look at it on the zoomed out like map of the level, it makes no fucking sense. It looks like it should be like the side of the ship where they like load cargo on, but it's just in the middle of the ship. So like, and there's like, you know, like you think of like the golden parts of the ship as like being the frame, and there's like parts where like the gold parts don't connect. And otherwise the entire level is designed to be like almost like a like a logically designed ship. And so it loses... It gains a couple points in that they attempted to make it a logically designed ship, but it loses a couple, maybe a couple points in the fact that they then completely broke that rule. And then you go into the ship. That's pretty cool. I like that. Hot take, Metropolis should have been one act. One act. Should have been Metropolis one act, boss. Wing Fortress Zone, one act, boss. Death Egg Zone, one act, boss. Or just boss, you know. Then we've got the boss. A tough boss, but not the hardest boss in the game. You do have rings for it, which is nice. If I remember correct, they broke this boss in Origins. And it's like way too fast now. Maybe not. Maybe I'm smoking. Speedrunners kick the shit out of this boss, and it's really cool to watch, but... Second act of Wing Fortress? No, I think it works well as one act. I like that you go from the back of the ship to the front of the ship in one act. I think it's really cool. I think of Sky Fortress, or Sky Chase as Wing Fortress Act 1, and then Wing Fortress as Wing Fortress Act 2. That's how I kind of frame it. Also, seeing the profile of Eggman there is always wild. Also, cool detail, Tails puts the rocket onto the tornado. Like, he repairs, you don't see the rocket before this point of the game. And then he, like, gets shot down, and then he presumably repairs the plane in time to chase after Eggman with you. And adds a rocket to it to, like, help it fly, which I think is super dope. Great characterization of, like, Tails' ingenuity from, like, day one, you know? Okay. I was like, are we ever gonna get to the Death Egg? Also, brilliant transition there from the sky becoming space. Like, brilliant. Brilliant. And now we're hurtling through space. The one thing I'd never understood about Death Egg, though, is that this is presumably the left side of the Death Egg, right? We're on the this is like the entrance. Like, this is supposed to be like the part of the room, like in Star Wars, where they like land the Millennium Falcon, right? Because like Eggman landed a ship, and then presumably Sonic chased him here, right? And so you're thinking that this is like on the side, but then we beat this boss and we exit the Death Egg on the side. So it's like, is the Death Egg only this long? Like, only as long as this level? Or is like... Because it's not, because we see it in Sonic 3, right? It's cool how much they convey without any dialogue. I agree. This and Super Metroid are perhaps some of the greatest non-dialogue storytelling games. The Sonic games and Super Metroid have some of the best stories with no dialogue. And no text in them of any games before the modern era, I would say. And then Death Egg Zone has the two bosses, so it's really kind of funny enough. I thought it was an egg when I finally beat Silver Sonic for the first time, or Mecha Sonic, whatever you want to call him, and I was fucking overjoyed to have finally beaten him. I thought to myself, oh, look, he's running into an egg-themed escape pod. And then I cried. And then I cried. All right, I'm gonna be a little cheeky. Dick shot. Fun fact, I used to have the tied world record for this level. Real-time speedrun, or individual level speedrun, specifically with Knuckles. I did not have the Sonic record at any point, but I had tied the Knuckles record. Because Knuckles, because he can't jump as high, you have to consistently hit him in the dick, which is fucking insane, and I just practiced it until I couldn't get it wrong. But you like have to hit him in the dick while fairly framed perfectly and with just the right amount of jump. I always love getting the last hit on Silver Sonic with the spin dash as he dashes into you, because it looks like, you know, those scenes in samurai movies where they both slash at each other and then they both are standing there and then one falls, you know? It's kind of what I think about. And then here, you can actually stand behind him and you can hit him in the ass as well. And here you can actually hit him in the back because the flame vent on his back is not nearly as strict. I'm washed up. I'm washed up, chat. Eggman's face there just watching you is so funny. Fun fact. Actually, I wonder if it shows it. Oh yeah, it does show it. So that laughing face was in the original game, but in the original game you would never see it because the game like paused all processes when you died, basically. And so the only way to see that face, him make that face in the original game, is to play with debug mode on and give yourself rings in this level, and then get hit. Yeah, the wincing, yeah, and the laughing. They removed, that's the one thing that Sonic 3 doesn't have. Sonic 3 doesn't have the laughing when he hits you. Somebody pointed that out to me the other day and I can't unsee it. And it pisses me off. See, I could have sworn, I can't remember which version of the game. Maybe it's Sonic 2. Maybe it's Sonic 2 Absolute then. There's a version of this game that, I thought it was Sonic Origins because they replace Eggman's black glasses with blue ones for Sonic 3 in Origins, but I think it's maybe it's Sonic 2 Absolute. Sonic 2 Absolute. What the hell is this? Also, my HDR settings are all out of whack. Final Boss Zone returns. Sonic 2 Absolute mods. Oh, okay. It's a mod. Cool. Thanks, Moded Zuki, with 312,000 subscribers, but 7,000 views on this video. What the fuck is this channel? Is this like made for kids slop? This is made for kids slop, right? This is hurting my eyes. Sorry, chat. There you go. HDR is weird. Huh. But yes, in one remake of Sonic 2, I thought it was Origins, but maybe it's Absolute. They give him the blue glasses. But most versions have the black glasses, which then became the black eyes on the cartridge. This is a fun fact for you. They became the black eyes on the, oh damn it, it's not actually on the cartridge, but on the cover art that has the same art as the cartridge. Eggman has black eyes because the US artist took some artistic liberties. And then the Sonic cartoon just was like, oh, okay, Eggman has black eyes. He's not wearing glasses, he just has black eyes. And that is why Eggman has or Robotnik, as he's called, has black eyes in with red pupils in every like Sonic cartoon in the 90s. I mean, I don't have like interviews of people saying, yeah, that's why I made those decisions, but like that's the only logical explanation I can think of. Yo, what's up, Funny Bunny? I appreciate the love. Thanks for coming in and chatting with us. Do love this music though. Do love this music though. And see, we run like 10 feet and then we go out the side of the death egg. Yes, I do love how it starts. Masato Nakamura, epic genius. Also, did you know he wrote lyrics for this song? This song has lyrics. What do you think they are? How do you think this song, the lyrics to this song starts? I think it's like, I can feel the wind flying in my face. Or do you think it's something like, we lay like lovers in a warm embrace? No, probably not that, right? Nah, that'd be crazy. Game Boy looking ending. kind of. Yeah, it's a love song. It's straight up a love song with like very lovey-dovey lyrics. Actually, Sweet 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 is the remix. Sweet Dreams is the original, I believe, if I remember right. Or maybe it's Sweet Dreams and then parentheses Sweet Sweet Sweet. Something like that. I don't know. Good song though, actually. Objectively good song. That's Sonic 2. Okay. So where do we rank the final one? This might be the hardest one to rank. And I kind of did that to myself because I grouped Sky Chase, Wing Fortress, and Death Egg together. Where to put it? Let's see. Theming. Okay, Sky Chase is pretty cool. The theming is pretty cool. Wing Fortress Zone loses some points for not being totally like believable with its weird construction site zone thing, but maybe just like half a point. And then the Death Egg is sick. Death Egg is sick. We gotta give it no less than a 4.5 out of 5 in terms of theming, right? But design. In terms of design, a lot of bottomless splits, spin dashing off of the zone transitions also, yes. So we might even say 4.75 in terms of theming. But we've got the spin dashing off of the plane and the no checkpoints in Sky Chase. That's kind of lame. That is kind of lame. We've got the endless bottomless pits and Wing Fortress that are a noob trap that just guzzle all your lives right at the end of the game. And if that doesn't do it, then Death Egg certainly does. And then you're sent right back to the fucking title screen because this game did not have a password system or a save game. And so if you didn't know the level select code, you were fucked. And even if you used the level select code, you were like, but I feel like I cheated. So, but you know, that's how games were back then. And people didn't hate it, you know? I think it was kind of cool that, like, I can't necessarily remember the first time I played these games necessarily. Like, I have very faint memories of my first time playing these games. But I can remember the first time I beat Sonic 2 legitimately from start to finish, you know? And there is something special about there being many years between those points, you know? And God help you if you're getting the emeralds in that. Yeah, no kidding, dude. Fuck that shit. But getting the emeralds also is what gets you a lot of continues. So then you would have a lot of continues stored up for the last bit of the game. And then Supersonic being a pretty good reward for beating all the special stages unusable in Death Egg, which was always kind of lame. Yeah, true. I might want to put it, is it better than Scrap Brain? That's really the question. I don't think it's better than Chemical Plant, but I think it's better than Scrap Brain. So we'll say 4.75 out of 5. And then four out of 5 in design, or 3.5 out of 5 in design, something like that. I think I gave Scrap Brain a 9. Which is probably too high looking back, but yeah, it's up there. Yeah, I'd probably say it more substantial more substantive finale than Scrap Brain. Is it though? It's an auto scroller, a 1-act zone, and then boss fight. I guess it's multiple boss fights, right? It's 3 boss fights in a row that are all pretty challenging versus Sonic 1's singular boss fight that's really not challenging. And then Scrap Brain, of course, or Labyrinth Zone making a return, which a lot of people see as a negative. I don't necessarily see it as a negative. I kind of do, but it's not necessarily a negative. But Scrap Brain had 3 acts and a boss. So, and they all had unique designs. Like, in terms of level design, yeah, I would. That one's also hard for me to say. Again, Labyrinth Act 4, as Scrap Brain Act 3 kind of throws a wrench in that. So, I don't know. Well, I think I'm happy with these rankings. I would boot up Sonic 2 and I would have a good time up through Aquatic Ruin, and then I would hit Casino Night and I would like just kind of trudge through it. But then the boss fight would like get me hype again. And then I would play Hilltop. I'd be like, yeah, this is a good game. But then after Mystic Cave, you know, after Hilltop, you get Mystic Cave, Oil Ocean, Metropolis in a row. And that's where I usually stop playing, you know? That's where I was usually like, I'm gonna go play Sonic 1 now, or Sonic CD, or Metal Gear Solid. And not because I just lost all my lives to the fucking goddamn grasshoppers in Metropolis. But yeah, I think I'm happy with these rankings. That's true. In terms of stakes, it's one up, because the Death Egg is a really cool concept. Kind of comes out of nowhere if you don't read the manual. It's much more integrated into Sonic 3's story. But yeah, still really cool. We stand ripping off Star Wars. So, well, all right. That was the Sonic 2 rankings. I think I'm gonna cut down this stream. I've been recording this entire stream, so I've got the gameplay recorded. I might cut this down to, video length and make it a video. Make it the Sonic 2 rankings video, but that's true. You can only see it in the level select, but it's a cool shot in the level select, you know? So, all right. Well, we'll do, Sonic CD and Sonic 3 and Knuckles sometime soon, I think. And then, maybe we'll make, maybe I'll make a big video ranking all of them or something. I don't know. I feel like a few people have done that, but I might condense it down, you know. Aquatic Ruin and Hilltop made it to S, which is wild. I didn't think there were going to be any S's. I thought maybe Chemical Plant, but I was like, no, Chemical Plant's not an S. So, but I didn't expect myself to put Hilltop above Chemical Plant, but that's just how I'm feeling today. I think it might be a really fucking good level. Yeah, I still don't know. Hilltop might belong here or even here, but I'm gonna leave it there. All right. That was sick, chat. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've enjoyed this space. Sorry we couldn't get it on real hardware. I definitely wanted to play it on a fucking real ass Sega Genesis. I wanted to use my old controller and everything. But for some reason, the line in, I can hear it on the Go XLR. I can hear it in my headphones. So it's routing through the machine, but for some reason, the Go XLR is not sending it to the computer. So OBS is not receiving it. So I don't know why that's the case, but I'll figure it out before the next time, because I'd love to play some games on real hardware, and I bought this capture card just to do just that. That is something I didn't consider. Does this capture card have audio? Can I add it as a source? Hold on. So if I go over here, perhaps not. We may not have audio built into it. Yeah, I'm not seeing it pop up. Okay, so I probably couldn't have used that. So just looking really quickly. It might be hidden. Yeah, no, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, it doesn't look like it has audio. That's all right. Yeah, I did a weird echo for a little bit, but that's just because of how I had it routed. But I'll get this scene working eventually. But anyways, chat, that's all for me today. Here are our rankings. We've got Green Hill Zone, still number 1, still the GOAT, obviously. Honestly, feeling kind of risky, but no, I don't know that Aquatic Ring is better than Green Hill. I don't know that Green Hill's going to be dethroned, maybe by Angel Island. We'll see. But I don't even know that Angel Island's the best zone in Sonic 3. So, there's going to be a lot of S tiers from Sonic 3 Knuckles. Just wait for it, chat. It's going to be a very top. This is going to be a fairly well-rounded. Once Sonic CD comes through, and we have a couple more B's and C's, and then maybe 1 or 2 more A's, and maybe an S. This is going to be a pretty well-rounded kind of bell curve, then Sonic 3 Knuckles is going to make this a top-heavy tier list for sure. There's going to be a lot of S's, a lot of A's, a few B's, maybe some C's. I think Marble Garden's probably going in C. Don't really care for Marble Garden. Wacky Workbench is an S. Wacky Workbench might make it to E tier. But I don't know. I really don't hate Wacky Workbench as much as a lot of people do. But I think it's kind of fresh. Wonder how it would look if you were grading on a curve, as in like, because these are S's, that these get bumped down. Like it has to fit a bell curve, you mean? Like Metropolis goes down to E, Springard down to D, Mystic Cave down to C, Casino Night down to B. Like, even it out to average it out. Yeah, if I were doing that on a curve, I would have to add an S+ tier for Sonic 3. Stardust Speedway is probably going to be S. I don't see myself giving Stardust Speedway anything less than S. Has probably the best boss fight in any Sonic game, maybe. It's gonna be up there. Don't know that I'll put Palm Tree Panic at S. I'll probably put it above Emerald Hill, but it's probably gonna get no higher than B rank. Just for the same reasons that, I criticize Emerald Hill for being kind of derivative. However, the music in Palm Tree Panic even better. So, hard to say, but I'm not grading Sonic CD today, so we'll worry about that. I'm gonna have to just rename this to Labyrinth tier by the end of this, though. And we may have to just get rid of E tier because I'm not even sure I'm gonna use it. I'm not sure that anything's gonna rank this low from here on out. So, but all right, chat, that's gonna be it for me today. I gotta go figure out dinner. My fiance's been home for a little while, and I'm itching to see her. So, I really enjoyed this stream. We got to do this more often. I've been trying to think of things we can do on stream that we can turn into videos so that I can be making efficient use of my time. And also that tends to make for the most entertaining content on stream. And it's not just me just turning on the camera and talking and acting like I'm an authority on anything or valuable for people to talk to. But anyways, we did get a YouTube member since the last stream. We got 5 Neat Club members. As always, memberships on YouTube and subscribers on Twitch are always appreciated. I appreciate the homies that cheered some bits this stream. I'm gonna put that to good use. But the best way to support the channel, if you ever get the chance, is by becoming a member on my website. That's neonorocks.com. And as always, the actual best way you can support is just by giving me your time. You guys being here and watching is the greatest thing to ever happen to me. So besides my soon-to-be wife, I guess. But you guys are close second, maybe. Yeah, thank you guys so much. for watching, and go make something today. I think that's gonna be my new sign off. I thought of that today. I haven't had a sign off, but I think that's gonna be it. Now I'm gonna close before this ad starts. Bye, everybody. Mwah.